Doctor's Curse 2025 is here, and for the first time in the 6 times I believe we've had this event, we have a brand new map to play on. Yes, we are no longer at the Doctor's Castle, which was a reskinned version of Theme Park. We are now in the Doctor's Lab, which is Clubhouse. And the first thing I want to say is visually, this map is beautiful. This is the first time we've ever had an event map in the new modernized art style, which they are going for after the launch of CGX. And yeah, it looks incredible. Like when I entered the basement for the first time and saw all that green goop, which is the same one which comes from the Zombie Legion, I was like, oh my god, this genuinely looks brilliant. And with this being in the modernized art style, this actually technically makes this the first ever modernized map set at night. And, you know, you can probably see why a lot of us want night maps to come back for all of the standard maps as well, because it just looks incredible at night. It looks truly beautiful. Like, imagine seeing normal Clubhouse set at night, and there's just a chance that you can get it at day or night. I don't know, I think that'd be great. But that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is that this map has had some changes to accommodate the game mode. However, some of these would actually be pretty good changes to Clubhouse itself. Now, this wouldn't mean they'd be reworking Clubhouse, this would be more along the style of map buffs. This is something they'd done back in Operation Crystal Guard, where they took 3 existing maps in the game and changed them. Not crazy changes, but added a few different walls, or maybe changed a window into a breach, and just made the map better by changing 10% or less of it. And some of the changes which are in this version of Clubhouse would honestly make the map better without changing any of the main fundamentals. The first thing you will notice is when you enter the main entrance is that there is going to be a new staircase besides the strip wall, which leads all the way to Jacuzzi past a new open piece of the wall, meaning that you can freely travel between these areas. This is something which Clubhouse currently does not have, and you have to traverse either around the side of the map or alongside the roof to get to this bit. And funnily enough, if you played X-Defiant before Ubisoft pulled its life support, that game had Clubhouse in it, and it also done this exact same thing where it presented a staircase which led up to the balcony and you could go into the Jacuzzi breach area. I just think it's a bit interesting that this decision was made for both the X-Defiant version of this map and now the Doctor's Curse version of this map. And of course, I'm going to propose the question, as with the other stuff in this video, of do you think the normal standard version of Clubhouse we have in the game would benefit from a staircase which connects the main lobby area up to the Jacuzzi breach area, allowing for a lot more freedom for the player? I definitely think it would be really nice. Well, if we continue our way to the Jacuzzi breach area, we can actually see that there is a staircase to the left of it now, which allows players to come up from the ground below. Now, if you play the normal version of Clubhouse, you may be aware that the only way to get to this Jacuzzi breach is to either rappel up to it or drop down from the roof. But this change alongside the previous one now gives 2 different ways that attackers can walk up to this Jacuzzi breach, both from the main entrance side and now as well beside the Jacuzzi breach itself, outside where you would typically have the freezer from kitchen, and then that also entry point by the bathroom. Now, things are a bit different on this map. This map doesn't have a kitchen, so that's all sealed off, and there's like a different placement of the door, but you can understand the general area of where this would be. And yeah, I definitely think this would help with the movement of the map, and it would definitely flow a bit nicer than it currently does, because Clubhouse isn't a bad map, but I would prefer this to be the layout than the current one, in my personal opinion. Now, sticking with the exterior, this is one which I think all of you are going to agree with. When we go round to the construction wall side, so the single breach by construction, as well as the main CCTV breach, not only is there now another staircase which leads up to construction, in the current version of Clubhouse, you may be aware that there is a ladder here, and then of course you have stock door and kitchen door. In the Doctor's Curse version, there is no longer a ladder, but there is a staircase up, and there is now a connecting walkway which goes over the dog kennels, which in this version is a zombie kennel, which is quite funny, and you can hear the zombies moaning. But you can now connect around here and just walk from the CCTV breach to the construction breach. And there's like a little walkway that goes over stock door. Now, I know I've been asking for your opinions on this one, and I've been giving my opinions, but I think this one is a definite. I think this should 100% come to the standard version of Clubhouse. Having a flow between CC breach and con breach is just It's necessary. The flow around this area by stock door and then by like chains and then like kitchen hallway, it's just a bit not great. Now, you may be seeing that there is also a window by the CCTV breach as well, and there's also another window by the con breach into cache. I'm not necessarily saying that they should add these windows. I think the connection between the two breaches is definitely good, and it doesn't change the site too much. It just makes it a bit more clean for the attackers to rotate. But the windows, they're their own discussion. I don't really think we should have these windows. I think it'd be fine as is, but I definitely really do love how it just connects between construction here with the staircase as well. And yeah, I think this is a definite for Clubhouse. I think we can all agree that this would improve the map substantially, especially with that being the most popular breach. Just connecting con makes good for rotates. It's going to make those pinch pushes a lot better. I definitely really like this one. Oh, I also forgot to mention there's also a new staircase beside the CC balcony as well, rather than it just being fully rappel. I don't think this one's as necessary because you can get on the rappel and get some really cool angles. But again, I'd be interested to see how that plays out, and I think it's worth giving a try. As we move inside the building, a lot of it is pretty much the same. You have, of course, some other windows like we were just talking about, but a lot of that is just to accommodate the playstyle of Doctor's Curse. But the main difference inside, I would say, is that the oil pit is more of a sloped staircase now instead of ladders. That's a big theme you'll see in Doctor's Curse. They try and avoid ladders, which is understandable because then someone would just camp on a ladder and you won't be able to hit them. But it is worth mentioning, I guess, since we are talking about map changes. Normal Clubhouse doesn't really need this. I think the ladder is fine, and thematically it also just makes more sense to have a ladder there because, well, you know, it's a garage and that's where they're like doing up the bikes, so to have like an oil pit like this with a ladder makes more sense than it being like sloped dirt. I mean, they made it look pretty natural in this. It's pretty cool, but I think current Clubhouse is fine in this sense, and this is just to accommodate the Doctor's Curse playstyle. But oh my god, does this basement look sick. The basement is pretty much the same as well. Armory's been cut off, so it's just a bit smaller to, again, accommodate the playstyle of Doctor's Curse. But there is a major difference when you head round to Moto, as you can now enter from the exterior by the front of the main gate area straight into Moto with a breachable wall. Now, this is one that I do think is worth talking about. Maybe not to the extent of it just being a staircase down and you have a wall, because that's going to be really awkward for attackers to push. But I guess that would also balance it out if attackers can have a straight entry point into Moto. And of course, this would be a point for them to breach. And then, well, you could also argue if you do have a breach here in Moto, that would give more standing to hold bar, because then you could play with an open Moto hatch. So again, there's a lot of strats you could come from that. I kind of like the idea of there being another linear push point into Moto. I don't know. I think that's pretty cool. And I really like, again, how they designed it on this map. I'm not saying all of these changes need to come to modern or standard Clubhouse, shall we say, because, again, a lot of these changes are to accommodate the Doctor's Curse playstyle. But definitely when you walk on the map and if you play the mode yourself, you'll be going through these things. You'll be like, I do actually wonder how this would work in a real game setting on the real version of the map. That is why I wanted to make this video, because I think there is definitely a discussion that, you know, can come from this. I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. Now, other than that, there's not really many other changes. Strip side is kind of gone. They've added a wall into bathroom, but modern Clubhouse doesn't really need that. That's fine. Oh, another cool thing is in the basement, there's a fire extinguisher on its side. I feel like that's just worth noting, because no modernized map has a fire extinguisher on its side. They're just all upright. So, I don't know, experimental, pretty cool. If we can hide fire extinguishers in different locations, then yeah, let's start putting them on their side. We could do that one to that weird one in layer, which makes absolutely no sense. But yeah, that's kind of the main changes on the Doctor's Lab version of Clubhouse. That's the official name of the map. But be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Drop a like on this video if you did enjoy. And yeah, what do you think about these changes? Have a great rest of your day. I love you all. Stay safe and have a good one.